Chris Schwarzkopf here with Energy Diagnostics. Today we're going to be doing our final inspection for Energy Star and code compliance. I brought along some of our equipment that we're going to be using. Our flow meter to test the amount of CFM your bath fans are pulling. Our duct blaster, of course our blower door equipment, and a ladder to get into the attic. We also have our tablet to record our information. Before we get started, we have to make sure that the house is prepped and ready for final testing. Let's start in the basement. Okay, now we've made it to the basement. We need to make sure that our combustion appliances are turned to pilot or off. We brought our duct blaster down here just because eventually we're going to be setting up out of the furnace. While we're down here, we need to check to make sure our basement windows are closed and in the locked position, and then we can head upstairs and check the rest of the house. Okay, now we're upstairs. We need to make sure that all our windows are closed and locked, our attic access is installed, and all of our exhaust fans are turned off as well. Follow me. We'll check the attic access first. Alright, we've located our access, set up our ladder. Now we're going to check a few items. First, we're going to make sure that there's a gasket installed. Then we're going to make sure that the bat is attached to the back of the access. And finally, we want to make sure that the attic's insulated. Alright, I'm out of the attic. I've cleaned up my mess. Now we have to finish prepping the house. We need to make sure our exhaust fans are turned off. And they are. The rest of our windows and doors are shut and locked. And now the house is prepped and we can set up our blower door. Quick note, before we set our frame inside the door, we want to make sure that our reference hose is placed outside the door 5 feet away from the floor of the fan. Here's a quick explanation of what this door actually does. Our green hose references the outside air pressure so that our gauge can calculate the indoor air pressure. Our red hose measures how much flow is actually being pulled back through the fan. Now what we want to do is we want to create a worst case scenario. We want to put 20 miles an hour of wind on all exterior surfaces including the roof. It's 50 pascals, hold your breath, here we go. Alright, we got our blower door number. Now it's time to tape the house. Alright, now that the house is fully taped, we can set up our duct blaster for our duct leakage tests. Alright, we've got our duct blaster set up. Now it's time for a total duct leakage test. Much like the blower door, we're going to measure leakage, but at 25 pascals instead of 50 pascals, and we're going to measure the duct system's leakage, not the home's leakage. Ready? Here we go. duct blaster number, our blower door number. Now it's time to measure our exhaust fans. We've got our gauge configured to exhaust, plugged into our flow hood, place it over the fan, and measure the amount of CFM it's pulling. Well, that concludes our final inspection. It's time for me to fill out my paperwork, break down my equipment, remove all the tape, and head to the next one. I hope you learned a little bit about what we do in our final tests. I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.